Hi, I'm Dix AstroCoach, and welcome to tonight's in-depth look at the full worm moon in the sign of Libra. So this is quite an interesting moon. It's actually, for once, a lunation that is taking place that is easier for us, because you may have noticed with the energy of the last few months with the moons, the new moons, the full moons, that it's all been a little bit tense, particularly 2 weeks ago when we had the Pisces new moon. I know quite a few people that moon just sent into meltdown, including myself. I have to own up to it. I'm not immune to the energies of these cosmic bodies. Oh, as you can see, we're joined by Astropus. I'm not quite sure where he's going. He's going over there now. Right, fine. So what I thought I'd do first of all is just give you a little bit about the astrological jargon and the science, because it's quite interesting. So the full moon is in the sign of Libra. Now, Libra is about balance, relationship, and that kind of, it's the scales, okay. Libra is opposite Aries. So this means the sun is now in Aries in opposition to the moon in Libra. Now the sun is what we call conjunct both Chiron, which is the asteroid known as the wounded healer, and Venus, that is the planet of love and relationship, also value. Now, when I say they're in conjunction, it means that they're all at the same degree in the sky. So the moon over here in Libra is at, just let me go to my screen. Here we go. 8 degrees and 18 minutes. The sun is at 8 degrees and 18 minutes. So it's opposite in Aries. Chiron is next to the sun at 8 degrees and 49 minutes. And Venus is also at the same degree of 8 degrees and 56 minutes. Now, this is quite unusual, and I got quite excited because the combination of these planets together really produces a very rich energy. But before I just explain that bit, I want to go on to 2 of our other planets that are making a very interesting design if we drew lines between them all in the sky, because we've got my big boy Saturn down in Aquarius. And I say down in Aquarius because at the moment, Saturn is actually kind of like down there underneath the planet, because we look at it from the perspective of where we are on the planet. And then we have to look at Mars. Now, Mars is in Gemini and Mars is up there. So what we have, and it's a bit difficult to explain to you, but I'm going to try and do it, is, you won't see this very well, but we have what we call a kite. So you have these lines that come up like this, and it looks like a kite in the sky. Now, the symbolism of this is super exciting. For me, it's like the moon is encouraging us to trust that the winds of change are lifting us up like a kite. And we have to have faith in the direction that these winds are taking us, or the kite. Faith in the direction the wind is blowing you. Now, I know that's not always easy. It's not easy to always trust that when difficult and challenging things happen, that somehow the universe still has our back and it's all for our highest good. Now, what do I mean by this? Because what I'm wondering is, have you been paying attention to what's been going on in the last, say, week or 10 days leading up to this full moon, because that will give you a very clear indication as to what this particular moon is about for you. Remembering it's full. When a moon goes full, it brings resolution. It brings completion. It can bring endings. Whether these endings are positive or negative is actually always up to us, because we always have choice. And my job, or one of my jobs as an astrologer, as your astrologer, is to show you how we can use these energies in the best way for us individually. The planets just make a kind of expression. They say it how it is. It's up to us how we choose to use that energy. I was thinking about this the other day, because I was thinking sometimes I see somebody's birth chart and it's a lovely chart. It's got lots of easy angles and it just feels very beneficial and nice energy. And maybe I talk to this person at a point in their life, in their sort of midlife, and they're saying, but I've never achieved anything. Then, let's put that on one side, I have someone else who's got a chart that is, my God, so challenging. Hard angles, difficult aspects, really, really, really difficult stuff. And yet they've made a great success of their life. Now, the point being is that it's always up to us. The planets show us where we can move towards, where we can best use and explore our talents and energies. It's up to us what we do with it. So if we have an easy ride all the time, then actually we're not going to grow. We're not going to change. We're not going to just kind of reach for even greater goals. We have to have something to keep striving for. So I want you to think very carefully about what's been going on for you personally. It may not be anything particularly important or big, but just have a look at what's going on for you around now. It will probably be to do with relationships, because this is a full moon about relationships. Libra is about relating. It's about balance. And because the sun opposite in Aries is about shining the light on this relating area of our lives, helped by the planet Venus, that is all about relating and relationships. And Venus rules Libra. So there's this lovely harmony, there's this lovely connection between the planet Venus and the sign of Libra. Venus also rules the sign of Taurus. Now, when Venus is ruling Taurus, or in that kind of aspect, it's very much about value. So this full moon is also about, what is the relationship like that you have with you? How kind are you to you? How balanced are you with you? Do you get into a lot of self-critical attacks on yourself, judgment, putting yourself down? Do you think, does your mind feed you with words and phrases which are, I'll never get this right, I'm not good enough, I can't do it? Instead of you finding a better way to relate, to feed your unconscious, your mind, the kind of affirmations that lift it. I can do this. I am good. I'm great. And to believe it and to have faith in it, that you can achieve it. Because when obstacles are put in our path, like this massive COVID obstacle, It's because the universe is inviting us to grow, to change and grow. And if we don't get that lesson at this point, then I do feel the planet is going to kind of bite back, and the universe will bite back until we get the point. Now, this moon is called a worm moon. And I thought about this and I thought, well, why is it called a worm moon? There are other names for it, and I did see a couple of posts on Facebook today where some other lovely people were putting the interpretations up of the various other terminologies for this particular moon. I think the crow moon, I can't remember exactly, but interesting stuff. Now, this womb is the worm moon. Now, I think this is about when the worms are moving in the Northern Hemisphere beneath the earth, aerating the earth to allow the moisture and the warmth of the sun and the sun's rays to come down and warm and help the seeds that are lying dormant under the earth to grow. So what worms are beginning to wriggle away in your unconscious? Have a think about that. Because they may feel like they're not nice, or it's not nice or not comfortable, what's coming up. But you know what? Maybe they are actually just trying to help your psyche grow. So, you know, there's an awful lot we can get from this moon. I also just wanted to bring in about, because I saw this picture, which I can't share because I don't have permission. It was taken on the International Space Station of the dark side of the moon against our planet Earth. So the sun would be back here. I'm the International Space Station, hey. And here is the dark side of the moon, and here's the Earth. And I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find this picture. But I didn't want to share it because I don't have permission. But it made me think about the science behind the moon, because I just Googled, does the moon rotate? Because I hadn't really particularly thought about it in any great detail before. So what I found was this: the moon keeps the same face pointing towards the Earth because its rate of spin is tidally locked, so that it is synchronized with its rate of revolution, which is the time needed to complete one orbit. In other words, the moon rotates exactly once every time it circles the Earth. So what that means is the moon takes 28 days to go round the Earth, and it only rotates once, but it still has its face to the Earth. We never see the dark side of the moon. And I think that this is a really interesting thought, because if you take the symbolism of that, what is there in you that no one ever sees? What is there in you that within your relationships no one gets to see, or you don't want them to get to see? I'm just putting these questions out there because this moon is very much about growth. It's about growth for relationships. It's about healing for relationships. It's about trusting that if you've been encountering huge difficulties in relationships currently, then there is another side to this. There is a bigger picture. Always remember that the divine knows better than you. The divine has your back. The divine always has your back. And if the divine is taking something away, it's actually making room for what you do need to come in. So I really feel it's important to just kind of be aware of that. Also, before I move on to our individual zodiac signs, we do have Mars and Saturn in this equation. And with the full moon in Libra, they're making what we call in astrology a Grand Trine. This is a lovely aspect. It's a helpful aspect, but bearing in mind what I was saying earlier, that sometimes the helpful aspects make us do nothing. This trine, because you've got Mars and you've got Saturn. Let's take Mars. Mars is in Gemini, which is about communication. Mars is about action. So this tells me that there may be communication that needs to take place in relationships that one is maybe holding back on or reluctant to, or just thinks, oh, it'll blow over. Now, Saturn in Aquarius, the other corner of this triangle, Saturn is about structure, rules, and patience. And I feel that Saturn's presence in this whole lunation is talking about finding a way to have probing discussions that bring an opportunity to find a way through, to restructure what may not be working. Because sometimes we come up against problems in relationships and we tend to throw the baby out with the bathwater. So this is very much about saying, before you do that, let's just look at what we do have and how we can work with that and help it evolve into something even better. So I really do think it's important to pay attention to the events that happen to you around this moon and really until the next full moon, which will be at the end of April. And really to just have a think about those worms that might be worming away in your unconscious. They may have some very valuable information to impart to you. I mean, worms give us a feeling of something we don't like very much. But you know, those thoughts that niggle away and come up from the deep depths of our psyche, they usually are pretty uncomfortable. But if you look back, if you think about times when you've perhaps been in a situation that's bad, and you look back to that situation as it was then, how much actually the universe knew better than you and was really going, hello, hello, come on, off you go, different direction now, time to do something new. So remember that these worms are metaphorically worming their way into your consciousness, and trust that they're actually helping you to grow. So with no further ado, we have to move on to the zodiac signs. And I'm going to start with, as usual, Aries. Now, Aries, you are in one sense one half of the star of tonight's full moon, because the full moon is in your opposite sign of Libra. So for you, Aries, this full moon is in the sector of your chart connected with close personal relationships. That's not always our partner or our loved one or soulmate. It can be very dear friends. It can also be business partnerships. But the energy for you for this moon, with all that activity going on in your sign of Aries, with the sun and Chiron and Venus, really feels as if there's going to be some lovely healing communication that will go on between you and another, whoever that another is, and a chance to find solutions. And I think, Aries, you'll actually be feeling far more optimistic about your own personal situations than you've probably felt for some time, because we can't forget that we have got Chiron there, and this is about healing. So have faith and be patient, Aries. Taurus. Okay, so for you, Taurus, the full moon is in the area of your chart that's connected with your daily routine and health matters. And as the sun is in Aries, making such a beautiful connection to our wounded healer, Chiron, and Venus, I feel that you probably have felt quite confined of late, and you've been slowed down by events, haven't we all? Maybe you're realizing that you need to find a better kind of daily routine, and that you need to pay attention to health matters that you've kind of just let slip a bit. So for me, for you, this full moon is going to bring you an opportunity to forge forward and think, okay, enough is enough. I've really got to get myself in shape. Gemini, the twins. So Gemini, lovely healing energy for you with relationships, and also with more recreational things and creative pursuits. I think you're going to feel that you can really begin to see that there are opportunities coming up where, you know, hopefully the world, the planet is going to open up a bit. So there's a little bit of hope that things can shift forward and you can start making the connections and having the communication and the fun that you very much need. Gemini needs contact. Gemini needs to explore and to have things to discuss. And the remoteness of lockdown for Gemini will be quite tough and will have been quite tough. Cancer, let's see what's happening for you. So for you, Cancer, this is about your home life, your family. The energies here are very healing. So I feel if there have been any cross words with family members, you'll certainly see a really big shift here. And I do feel that if there's been some conflict over work-family balance, you'll manage to iron out those creases and find a way to, maybe you have to actually, just come to me, maybe you actually have to involve some of your family members, if you're living with certain family members, in what you're doing to help you, so that they don't feel lonely and left out. Just a thought, Cancer. Okay, so now we move on to Leo, the lion. So for you, Leo, this is all about communication. How are you communicating? How is your general communication skills going at the moment? I think my feeling is you're going to actually find quite a healing way of being able to put information across that you feel is valuable in close relationships. So also, if you've had to negotiate things, say with friends and neighbours, sometimes, you know, we're living in difficult times and things can get quite tense, not just within our close family circle, but with friends and neighbours, and all the, you know, the shoulds and the shouldn'ts and the can we's and we can't and what can we do. And I feel you're going to be finding a way to eloquently, Leo, smooth troubled waters and help everybody communicate in a beneficial way. Virgo. Right, well, it's putting the focus for you, Virgo, on your value, your self-worth. So this is very much about how you see yourself. And it may be that you are retreating a bit behind a sort of your values in terms of your material possessions, to think, well, I've done this and I've achieved that and I've got that, so I have value. But Virgo, you've really got to work and go deep. You've really got to actually look at who you are inside. Because I think there's an inner part of you that isn't feeling valued enough. So just give that some thought, Virgo, because also there are people around you that really value you. And sometimes I think, Virgo, you lose sight of that. Libra, well, Libra, this is your moon. This is your day. Your once a year day. It comes every year. We get a full moon in Libra, as we do in all of the signs. And I think, in spite of restrictions, Libra, you've had enough, haven't you? You really want to get going. You feel confident. You feel quite good about things. And you feel very optimistic about things. You probably feel more optimistic than most of the other signs about the current sort of restrictions and situations that we all find ourselves in. Now, there's nothing wrong with that, but I think you have to look at how realistic it is, because I think we all want to branch out and move and change. But Libra, you need to actually listen to some of the information from your own sign, which is about getting the balance. So stay in balance with you. Value you, Libra. Know that you are worth taking more care of and really looking after. Because sometimes, Libra, you may not think enough about how you need to take care of you and love you. Now we move on to Scorpio. So this full moon for you, Scorpio, for all you Scorpios out there, I think you want to come out of hiding with all cylinders firing and really kind of like, yes, hey, healing vibes. I can feel it. I can do it. We can do it. We can go there. I'm going to do these things. Well, slow down, Scorpio, because yes, I think there is a part of you that is being quite visionary at the moment, and you're seeing that there is potential light at the end of what is quite a long tunnel. And that can be in lots of areas of your life. So I'm not particularly talking about the world's difficulties. I'm talking about you for you. And yes, there is light at the end of a long tunnel for you, Scorpio. But remember, softly, softly wins the race. Slowly, slowly. Baby steps, one step after the other, and that will get you to your goal. Sagittarius. Healing energies are most definitely all around you. And I think it's a very easy moon for you, this full moon, Sagittarius. I feel it's going to see you finding it quite easy to make decisions about ideas you've got, dreams you've got, and actually seeing how it's actually possible to manifest these. Pretty creative. There's a lot of creativity in this, and that's quite exciting, Sagittarius. Okay, so Capricorn. Well, it's about career, Capricorn. The energies of this full moon are very healing. Anything that has not been going particularly well with your career or with work, or you've been feeling fed up or uninspired or just lacking in motivation, and you may decide to close a particular career path, which, even though it's fairly lucrative, it is killing your soul. So there may be some decisions that you have to make about where you put your energies, because Capricorn, like for everyone, it's so important you're doing something you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about, you will just die inside. So it may be that you want to find ways to incorporate your home life more in your work. So give it some thought, see what that's about, value what you do, because you work very hard, Capricorn. Don't forget that. So really value it. Aquarius. So here's another sign that really wants to get moving. You want to learn, you want to accrue knowledge, you want to travel. You also, it feels to me at the moment, Aquarius, as if you want to be able to connect with the cosmos on every single level. Maybe you will be able to. And I think that this full moon is going to help you have a much clearer and easier idea of the direction that you want to go. And I really feel that your spirituality is just going to kind of crank up a few gears. It feels as if you're going to be having some lovely enlightening conversations and maybe having some of those wonderful aha moments where you suddenly get the most amazing clarity about life and the meaning of the universe. And then we come on to Pisces. So, okay, Pisces. This full worm moon for you is in the area of your chart that is connected with transformation. It's about life and death. That doesn't literally mean life and death, although obviously that can be there. But there's something about this full moon which is bringing up issues of beginnings and endings that you have to acknowledge and work with. And when we have these times when we have to face these things, it can sometimes just be memories of things that we've lost that come up. But what you need to know, Pisces, is that through this, you are going to gain the most enormous healing. Whatever it is that's coming up for you, or over the next couple of weeks or so, you will gain enormous healing through this experience. And it will enrich your soul, and it will enrich your life, and it will give you that kind of impetus to start initiating things and ideas, talents that you've got, paths that you know you have to walk, and you will finally see what you need to do to actually take that first step. So there we go. Well, what a powerful full Libra and worm moon we have tonight. And I'm just looking out, but I can't see anything. I don't think it's risen yet. I don't think it rises till a little bit later tonight. But if you have got an east-facing window, then do look out later, because hopefully we'll see this beautiful Libran full moon. In the meantime, I would like to say thank you so much for coming to join me here tonight for this full moon video, hosted as every month it is by Gith magazine. That's Gozo in the house and the lovely people at Team Gith. Thank you so much for hosting it and doing all the hard work that you do for me and for others, and especially the community. Also, I would like to say that if any of you would like to have a one-to-one astro coaching session with me to make sense of all these energies and everything that's going on at the moment, please contact me either via Gith or via my business page or via my website, and I'd be very happy to set your chart up and have a session with you. And also, I just want to wish you well. My April videos, by the way, are up on YouTube now if you'd like to check out what's going to be happening in April. Quite an interesting month. And I will see you for the new moon, which is in the sign of Aries in April. And that's Can't remember the date exactly, but I'll be doing that on my Dix AstroCoach page. So I look forward to seeing you then. And again, from me and Astropus, who is over here somewhere, thank you so much for joining me. Bye for now.